Hello,
My name is Cobb.
and today I will show you how to shade in digital art in under 7 minutes. The equipment I'm currently using is a Wacom 1. You can use a tablet or those cheap drawing tablets that you can find on Best Buy for your computer, or you can even use a mouse if you're a pro. The program I'm using is Clip Studio Paint, but you don't have to use this exact program. You can use a free program like IBS Paint, Krita, Sketchbook, Metabang, or any program out there that is free and you're comfortable with. To start off, I have a already drawn and colored Hatsune Miku, the virtual singer. You might know her, you might not, doesn't matter. We're just gonna learn how to shade. The brushes that I typically use is a light brush. That means if you do a stroke and you do another one on top, it gives it like a gradient automatically. Depends on how many strokes you have. It's like, think of it as a pencil. If you lightly use your pencil, obviously it's gonna come up very light, but as much as you do so many strokes, it becomes darker over time. That's how shading normally works on paper, but right now we're doing digital art. But it's the same concept for digital art. Do not use black. You can use black, it depends on the type of drawing, really. If you're using like a dark background and you can use black. But if you're using like a background that is very light, do not use that because it will make your drawing kind of messed up, at least in my opinion, and so many others, but that's okay. If you use black to shape, that is totally okay. We'll normally just use a different color, either a color that is darker than the one we'll use, or you can use, for the whole drawing, you can use like this shading color, which would normally be reds, pinks, purples, or a dark blue. You can use that, and you could also change it. I don't know what they're called, but it's normally when you want to change the type of color filter. I guess that's what they are. It's normally when you want it to be like, oh, I want it color burned, or you want it color light, or all that stuff. It won't automatically change the way your shading layer would come out. I typically do that a lot, and you can use it too. To start off, I normally choose to see where the lighting is. I'm not teaching where lighting should go, but only how to do it. And it's quite simple. I can give you a little lesson on it. Normally when you're shading, you want to see where your light is going. Because if you just shade out of nowhere, which I'm probably going to do this in this video, you have to shade where you want your light to be. So let's say, for example, like the way I'm doing it, probably the lighting is going to be from both sides, in front of the character and to the right of the character. I will speed up some of the progress, but it's mainly just the ones that have too much color in, like for example the hair and the clothing for like her sleeves, her skirt, and her tights. Mainly because it's to save up time. That is okay. You can still see the progress, but obviously I wanted to speed it up so I can give more time explaining of what to do. For the hair shading, what you can do is you can go a little haywire on it. Go brush happy, I guess you can call it. It's hair. Hair is all over the place, but because we're talking about a cartoon character, not realism, you can make it look like a solid block, but still make it look like hair. So for example, for my technique, I normally just do strokes down. As well, another tip when doing hair shading is always shade, like, do your brush stroke the direction that your hair is going. Mostly for the top layer, what you will do is that, for example, like she has 3 strands of like hair poking all over the place. What I would do is for the middle, I would go down the middle, but give it a slight curve so it gives depth of how hair is mostly, like how her hair is flowing. As for like the two like strands on the side of her face, I go down those directions. Like for example, the right one, I go down the right one with a slight curve, and then the left one, I go through a slight curve on the left one. For clothing, it's going to be a little bit difficult to explain because clothing is all over the place as well as hair, and that is also it's not like hair for cartoon characters because the characters actually have movement with the clothes that they're wearing. I can normally just do simple shading when it comes to clothing, like for example just shade how like I shade the skin, but sometimes I would also put like a little bit more of like blending into where the clothes fold happens, either on top or the bottom, depends on where the lighting is hitting. You can look up other videos of how to where to put your clothes shading because sometimes it's all over the place. If not, what you could also do is if you're gonna draw like a character that has a figure, if it's a physical model, you can get a light, like a flashlight, your phone light, any light, and you can shine it on the figure and see how the shading works. If there's some spots, if she's like completely shaded, maybe only her outline would be done. Or if they're shading from like the left, obviously most of the lighting would go to the left of her clothing. Sometimes the clothing folds will be at the bottom or on the top, depending on where the lighting is. And it's completely random depending on where the lighting is. That's mostly what you have to focus, lighting. For the legs, normally because I have the shading kind of behind her, not really behind her, but like kind of maybe above her head. What I had to do is, if you noticed, the legs are shading the same side. Normally you would see people draw the shading on the opposite sides of the legs, but because the lighting is coming from behind her, I would have to shade from the same direction because that's where the direction is supposed to go, you know? Lastly, this is like a finishing touch. Again, the color filters that is for your layer, or the type of layer that you want it to be, like for example the color burn, the color light, the multiply, all those things. For the filter that I used color burn because it mostly goes with her box art, and I really wanted to go for something like that to show for this video. I really hope this video helped out, and I hope you learned how to do lighting and shading and all that stuff. At least I could have done it like very simple to show, and I really hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you and goodbye!